Hi everyone, in this month's KnowledgeSmart implementation tip section, I wanted to quickly share with you a new concept around using KnowledgeSmart assessments within the context of micro-assessments. So at some point you might have felt that rolling out an assessment as a whole is too time consuming, or perhaps you didn't have the manpower or resources right now to customize the content to your exact needs, but you still have business challenges to solve or respond to right now. Let's take a look at one example around annotation and sheets. Let's say the project team has come to you and said that there seems to be a problem around the consistent use or application of company standards around annotation and sheets. Now you have a team of around 50 designers that are involved in this project, as an example. Does it make sense to go and upskill the entire team and take them out of momentum in project work? Or can we quickly set up a micro-assessment to better understand the exact levels of proficiency around these two focus topics and then target training to the right people within the team? So what I did is I clicked Show Search under Draft Questions, and I used the search parameters to isolate specific questions within my library. So I used RAC for Revit Architecture, I used the training tag called Sheets, and I used 2021 under Test Name to isolate questions from this version of Revit. I then also created a group and called it my micro-assessment question group, so that whatever questions I found that were relevant, I could quickly go and put them into that group. So if we look down here, we can see that I have found 10 questions that I feel align well to the current business challenge that I'm having. So answering 10 questions, well, that should take a user about 10 to 15 minutes. So within one day, I can have my users assessed and I can have targeted e-learning training content assigned to them on the very same day. This helps me be responsive and helps me solve the business challenge in a short amount of time as possible. Now, the other side of this is that through this process, I can also identify who are my top users within this specific focused area, and I can use them as mentors to help the other people within the team that are battling. So have a look at creating micro-assessments and rolling those out in succession rather than one big assessment, which might be very time consuming, as an idea. Now, once you've grouped your questions, you can come over to Create Module, and you can very quickly filter down to that question group. And I can then add these questions to a new module that is focused around annotation and sheets. I can give it a category tag, and I can even maybe use the project name. So Project A, or Global, or UK specific, Business Challenge. You can use any number of category tags which will help you find this content within your library later on, and click Finish. Okay, so we've now created our module. So the next thing we need to do is create our test. Right, so I've given my assessment a name, and I'm just adding that module that I've just created and click Continue. I see that there's 10 questions available. I'm actually going to get everybody to answer every single question, so I'm making my number of assigned questions 10. I'm going to put a time limit of 15 minutes to this assessment, and I'm going to just add the project name, Project A, as a category tag. I could then append a survey to this and ask a couple of IT-related questions or hardware-related questions in the survey and capture additional information from my users, or I can just roll out the assessment on its own. And there is my new assessment created. Right, next up, we want to make the assessment available for self-enrollment. And so we just come to UI options and make sure that we allow self-invite tests and have that option ticked. We can then go over to the user profile just to show you the workflow. So the user would go to self-invite, assessments, find that annotation and sheets assessment that they've been guided to take, select it, click add to self-invite, go over to my assessments, just reorder via the date, and that one will come up right at the top. And right, so here is the micro-assessment. They've got 15 minutes to complete it, and they click start assessment, and notice there are 10 questions in this assessment. And then just a reminder about the digitally proctored message here at the top that you can activate via your UI options as well. And it just reminds the user that we are capturing additional data, which will help us see if the assessment has perhaps not been completed under test conditions. So this just helps where assessments are being rolled out within the home office environment as an example. So I hope this implementation video has been helpful for you, and perhaps you will consider deploying some micro-assessments over the next 6 to 8 weeks as you start moving into planning for next year and moving into the year 2021. So please feel free to reach out to us if you need any help or guidance. We are here to help, and we look forward to connecting with you soon again.